nobody's talking about, could this be the end of the Brady era? Could he walk away at the end of this year? Because we're all in on Brady, and every single time that we think he might think about no longer doing it, nobody really ever thinks about it because we just think he'll just keep going on and on and on and on forever. And why am I bringing this up? Well, he's the sports person of the year as voted by Sports Illustrated. He was awarded that last night. There was a John Wertheim piece that was posted. That's the way it goes these days, right? Normally you'd wait for it to come in the mail.
Yes.
When we were kids. Yes, kids. Periodicals used to arrive in mail.
Every week on a Thursday was amazing.
It was amazing.
It was
See, and you couldn't wait to see what the cover was.
Thursday was the best day of the week.
My gosh.
Here comes my Sports Illustrated.
So an article posted in it, and sure enough, Brady does touch upon the end of his career in this article, which is why I'm bringing it up. Trust me, I'm not sitting here trying to push him out the door or thinking that he's staring at the door or anything like that. But we do have the Buccaneers finishing up their season with 5 weeks to go for them and then a postseason to go. So we could be the last 10 weeks of this season for the Bucs if they make it to SoFi Stadium up the road here. And so put it all together, and maybe, just maybe, he does win it, goes back-to-back one more time. He's the last two quarterbacks to do it, and he does it for two different teams. That's never been done. I mean, more never been done's before. Like, how many more can you possibly have? Certainly if the winning doesn't give you the same feeling as it used to. What do I mean by that? The number of times in my tenure with the NFL Network, now 19th season, 18 years and counting, the number of times where I have heard from an old school, long-time tenured coach in the league as to why they no longer wanted a coach anymore. And you want to talk about coaches. They don't ever get it out of their blood. I mean, never, ever get it out of their blood. It never leaves their blood. The competitiveness, the wanting to coach, just the wanting the adrenaline of a game. I mean, Mooch, whenever I see him on the sideline, he's still bending over, hands on knees, slapping at the hip of the ref that's right next to him, trying to point something out on the field. Jim Mora came on the show just a couple weeks ago when he just got the job at UConn, talking about how he missed it, and then his dad is calling him up, giving him all sorts of advice and telling him this, that, and the other thing, because his dad probably hasn't gotten it out of his system, sitting up there in the desert here in Southern California, coming out of the movie theater with his wife at 1 o'clock in the afternoon after watching whatever foreign movie he's watching. Can't get out of your blood. And Brady feels like the same. Just he can't get out of his blood. Okay. But the one thing that these old school coaches say that when they knew it was time to get out is that the losses, the feeling of the losses lingered much longer than the feeling of a win. That the depression of a loss couldn't get it out of their system when they wanted to, and a win just felt like, okay, what next? And this quote from the piece in Sports Illustrated just jumped out at me. Quote, Brady said this: I think if anything, the most challenging part is the emotional aspect of football for me. When we lose, it's depressing. When we win, it's a relief. It's not like the joy, the happiness. It's a relief. Because when we win, sometimes just winning isn't good enough for you because you expect perfection. And when you expect perfection and it's less than perfect, you feel like there's a down part to that. Whew. That quote leapt off of my phone and slapped me across the face. I'm like, wow. Don't discount that. You cannot discount that. He is the ultimate competitor. He is the greatest winner in the history of the sport, in which it's all about team more than any other. I know basketball, you got to have five on the floor, and hockey and baseball, when you stand alone at the plate, it's time for individual team an individual achievement, but when you're in the field, you're part of a team, to use the phrase from The Untouchables. Ultimate team sport, football. Ultimate. He's the greatest winner in that. And he's saying that winning's a relief now. I heard that. I thought to myself, okay, put a pin in that as we go about our business the rest of this year. Put a pin in that the rest of this year. I'm telling you, man. Because when he sits there, I mean, I just think it looks so easy, doesn't it? It looks effortless. Yep. It looks effortless.
He's made it look that way for a long time.
But now you know why he's finished with a Monday night destruction of the Giants, and he looks kind of miserable up there on the podium. They only won by 20. They could have won by 30.
Not good enough.
And that's the reason why he does win so much. It's the compartmentalizing of the game that sounds, you know what, a lot like Belichick, where you got to do what you need to do to win the snap. And then you need to do what you need to do to win the next snap so you can win the drive. And then you need to do what you do the next snap, the next drive so you could win the quarter. And then you do that so you could win the half. And you do that so you could score before the end of the half and then get the ball to start of the second half. And then you could do that to the next drive to win the quarter, and then you win the game.
Doesn't sound very fun.
It's fun to put the rings on. I'm just trying to get everyone to understand it. When I saw that really spoke to me about all of us needing to, when we watch Brady, soak it in, man. This is a non-story for so many people, and I totally get it, and I'm not trying to stir anything up. I just saw that, and I said, I've seen that before. I've heard that before. And I've heard that from coaches that are like, I got to get out. So I bet you he's still enjoying the endeavor with so much going on, but this is what goes on between the temples of the greatest of all time. And I'm sure this week, Bills fans don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? They don't want to hear it.
Right.
Because this is coming for them. I mean, of all the times for the Bills to walk into this situation. Because if you know, the thing that would light the flame even more, if it needs it anymore, is if Brady's really thinking like this could be it. I don't know. I find that hard to believe anyway. I just think he's at such a top of his game. The conversation is always, when do you walk away? When you've got more left in the tank, or when, so you know that you don't run out of gas in the middle of a season, pulling over to the side of the road, or you just go to your gas. You go like Kramer trying to test drive a car. Just keep going until you're on empty.
I mean, Brady never struck me as the quit when there's still something left, or he would have done that.
Who the hell knows?
After the Rams.
Do you think Brady's the type of guy that's like, yeah, the winning's a relief, man?
No, but Brady has also always said he'll keep playing till he sucks. He doesn't suck. He's number one in touchdowns, number one in yards, number one in completions.
He's not anywhere close to sucking.
Yeah.
He's not even in the realm of sucking. He's not even in the area code.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just kind of wanted to bring to everybody's attention.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So I read that article, and when I finally saw that, I'm like, whoa, okay. That's what it's like to, because it looks easy, and it looks fun. He's bashing heads with Gronk, and he's having the Tommy Gronky videos and all that stuff.
That's probably also helped keeping him young and keeping that part of the game fun for him.
It's like, hey, Tom, like, you know, just understand this. Is anybody out there sitting there after that Giants win thinking that Brady's less than? They might be thinking that the Bucs are less than.
Maybe.
That's why I said coming back here that after that game, I'm like, I looked at it from the Giants' point of view. That, hey, man, this is the guy you beat twice with Eli, and your greatest moments in the last quarter century have been beating this guy, and that's where your franchise should be, at the level of beating somebody like Brady, even if their team is less than. The team collective, though, can go out with a quarterback like Eli and beat him, and now you're fodder for trying to be fine-tuned against, and Brady's not happy enough that he didn't fine-tune more than 20 points for margin of victory. Maybe you just flip it the other way around. He's sitting there like, I just won a Monday night game, and we won by a bunch, and I'm not happy. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.